Hello dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me, Stéphane Herler. I'm the founder of the Tea Masters blog and of the tea-masters.com tea boutique, where you find a selection of great teas from Taiwan and Yunnan mostly, and also teaware and Yixing teapots and chabu, that is tea tablecloths that I use under my accessories so that it looks nice, and it absorbs a bit water and it creates a different atmosphere for each time. Today I'm using a red and gold themed tea tablecloths because I'm going to make some red tea, a red tea that I've made a lot during my stay in France during Christmas holidays, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this class on the subject of a healthy life with good tea. It's already the 5th class in this subject. In the past I've done a lot of theory. Today I'm going to talk about practice, because in the last 2 weeks, or during the 2 weeks of my vacation in France during Christmas and the New Year, I was really able to put into practice what I've preached, and I wanted to give you a feedback on how it went. Spoiler alert, it went very well. When I came back to Taiwan after 2 weeks of feasting, my weight had barely moved, so I'm really very satisfied. The tea did what it was meant to do, what I've been telling you that it would do. It enabled me to cut down on the calories that that my body intakes. It helped my digestion, it made me happy to drink good tea, and created especially more happiness because the teas that I chose went very well with the Christmas meals that we had during the holidays. And I was not drunk because this also helped me to cut down on wine, so for many reasons, this was really a great test for my theory of, is it possible to get healthy, more happy with great teas. Bottom line, it worked, and I'm going to give you some detail on how well it went. So first, let me make some teas. This is my Oolong red tea from the east coast of Taiwan. It's a fully oxidized tea from 2021. Currently it's even on promotion, 10% down, only $8.10 for 25 grams. This is the tea that I've been brewing a lot for my family on 2 occasions, mostly breakfast in the morning and in the afternoon, when we would have some Christmas cookies or sweets or desserts. This is really a great tea that goes very well with everything sweet. Breakfast, of course, in France is also very sweet. We had kind of a brioche with marmalade or honey in the morning. Roll it carefully. And this tea is a bit particular. It's also sometimes called honey flavored red tea, because this tea was inspired by Oriental Beauty. Like with Oriental Beauty, there are tea jacids who will come to bite the buds of these tea leaves when they are growing, because they are not using pesticides, and in a hot environment in Taiwan, these little insects will proliferate, and by attacking the leaves, the tree defends itself and this creates this very special aroma. Of course, it also has to be well oxidized, and this one is even slightly roasted. That's why it is very well dried. It makes this nice sound when it falls down on the plate, and it can be kept for many years. That's why it's continuing to get better with time. It's improving with age, and it went very well in the morning and with desserts, with very sweet things. Of course, depending on the flavors of your desserts or of your cookies, you may use different red teas, so it's up to you to find which red teas flavors are the best match for your dessert, for your sweet thing. But this one, as a rule, went pretty well during the Christmas season. It matches also desserts with the cinnamon flavor, I think, pretty well. And it's so naturally sweet and mellow that it does not require any sugar. You can drink it without sugar, and this is one of the reasons why this tea helps to reduce your calories, because instead of drinking something sweetened like a coffee or a low-grade tea bag where you have to add sugar, this one you can drink it without sugar, and this also helps to then lower the overly sweet feeling of some desserts in the West. Now, before I continue to talk about which good tea pairings I made during these 2 weeks, I first want to emphasize that I also changed the way that tea was made at my parents' home. Usually they would prepare the tea in the kitchen and then eat in the living room. I found out that in their large house, the living room is large enough also to accommodate a place for the hot water and a little space for my tea accessories and my tea stash. So I decided to move the tea making equipment from the kitchen to the living room, and by being closer to the table where we are eating, this made making tea easier and less awkward. You don't leave the table and leave the conversation during the meal. When you want to brew your tea a second time, you are still there with your family, and you continue talking with them while you are making the tea in a more easy fashion. And to make the tea easy and not as precisely as with this gongfu cha way, I used either a big gaiwan, the one from my selection, the large gaiwan. I like the gaiwan because you can really pour out the tea very quickly, and I used a pitcher this time instead of pouring in the cups. A pitcher helps to also to make this operation faster. Or on several occasions, and also for breakfast, when everybody's drinking large quantities of teas, I would use a large teapot from Meissen, but anyway, any large teapot would do, to brew the tea. And like this, I was able to make tea even for 15 people on Christmas Day, using a very large teapot. Of course, I got a bit I got a bit carried over and used a bit too many leaves with this large teapot. This is a mistake that can happen quite easily. So it takes a bit practice to know how much you have to use in terms of tea with a large teapot. It's different than with a smaller teapot. But anyway, It's also good to use more leaves when you are making tea with a meal. This also explains why I got carried away, because your tea needs to be stronger in order to be at the same flavor intensity as a meal. So let's go to some other examples of good pairings I had during these 2 weeks of vacation. On Christmas Eve, I brewed my 2017 Shen Gushu Puer from Jiangshan. Here you could use also the 2019 Lansan, and I brewed it, and it went very well with the smoked salmon. It enhanced the smoked flavors, and the salmon got better thanks to the matching with the tea. At the same time, we had some champagne. Champagne is a very festive wine that is quite light and brings some excitement and refreshment to the party. But I was a bit afraid. I just had landed in the morning that I would fall asleep in the evening. So the Gushu Puer helped to keep me awake. It helped to reduce my wine consumption so that I would not also doze and fall asleep. And so it was a very good drink to match the salmon, but also it helped to with the digestion, because we also had goose liver, which we matched this time with wine from Alsace, a sweet Gewürztraminer, Vendange tardive. But so because here it's very difficult to find a tea that is sweet and strong enough to match goose liver, so we fell back on the very traditional matching with Gewürztraminer. But by also having this puer from time to time with the salmon or on its own, I felt more awake, and it also helped to digest the goose liver, which otherwise can sometimes be difficult to digest. Some family members had some accident during that night and threw up, but I didn't, even though after 20 years of absence in France, I had a lot of Christmas meals to catch up. So believe me, I was very busy at eating these special meals that I rarely have the opportunity to have in Taiwan. Now, next morning we would have again this tea, and for the Christmas meal on the 25th we had deer filet with a very nice wine sauce made with Bordeaux, and also some Alsatian Spätzle. These are homemade noodles, some mushrooms, and roasted or cooked chestnuts, very sweet. So this is a very traditional Alsatian meal, and it was paired on the wine side with Léoville Poiferré Grand Cru Classé from Bordeaux from the year 2003, and I also paired it with Shuexian Yancha from the early 2000s that I made quite strongly. This tea is not in my selection. If you are interested, this is a very expensive tea, but you may contact me if you want. And actually the tea worked better with the venison than the wine. The flavors really matched perfectly, the Shuexian and the venison, the meat, perfect match. So also a great way to enjoy a Christmas meal with tea. And what else did we do during this time? Oh, of course, when you come to France from abroad, especially it had been 5 years I had not been to France. There's one specialty that you cannot miss. Of course, these are French cheeses. We say there are over 300 cheeses in France. Even if you taste one every day, you won't exhaust all the different cheeses that there are in France. So I was busy, of course, eating cheese at all the occasions I could. For to match the cheeses, I used either the same Jiangcheng puer, or this one for the hard cheeses, like Comté. So this type of cheeses, and with the softer, lighter cheeses like chèvre, fresher ones, I would use my Xiaoguan 2001 Show Puer, this so puer, either raw or cooked, went very well with these cheeses. Great pleasure. So this was a good alternative to white wine, which of course brings more calories and maybe sometimes more drunkenness and tiredness also. So in order to stay fit and don't suffer too much from the jet lag, the tea also helped, and it tasted really very good. Of course, some better than others. This is still a very interesting way to explore your cheeses and in your meal, when you are trying different cheeses and find out, this particular cheese goes very well with that particular tea or with that particular wine. So this is one of the pleasures that there was during this Christmas time. Of course, the best or the most famous cheese meal is the raclette. I had it twice. I remember that sometimes raclette can be very difficult to digest, because it mainly consists of cheese, potatoes, and ham. And well, actually, it went very well. Did not barely realize that I had a lot of cheese, and it was very well digested. So again, a great point to cheese. It helped to make the digestion also more pleasant during this very difficult time for your digestive organs. The Christmas and the New Year time is the time when the most rich food comes on the table in France. So tea, I felt, did a very good job also in this regard. What else? What was interesting is on the second day of Christmas, on the 26th, we had a large party with family members. We were 15, and again there was venison with a wine sauce. This time a bit more, not spicy in the sense of that it would be hot, but spicy with more flavors, more salt and pepper, etc. More wine, heavier sauce, and this time a ragout, not the best part of the deer, but some other parts of the meat. And this time, instead of the Yansha, I used my concubine Dulong from Shanxi in a large teapot. Everybody got to drink from it. Most of the people were driving because they had to go back home in the evening. were very happy then to have an alternative to the wine. Everybody felt that that this tea did a very good job complementing the meat and the spätzle, and this made them all also more interested in talking with me about my tea life, my tea experience in Taiwan. I showed them the video that was shown on French TV last year in September, and everybody had a good time. Also give away some tea to these friends and family, and and they could really enjoy it, and they saw how I made it very easily and without leaving the table. So this also is important if you want to make this a pleasant experience together with the meal, that you are not too far away when you prepare the tea, but still among the guests. I think this is really a very important lesson to remember. What else did we have? I think that's about it. I've already written one article about tea pairing and the Christmas meals in France. I'm probably going to write another one this coming week in English. The first one was in French. I did not take so many pictures because I was quite busy enjoying the company of my family and the food, but in total I can say almost that I had tea with every meal during my 2 weeks vacation, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Another tea that went very well with pork meat was my roasted tieguanyin, the Zhejiang tieguanyin from Anxi. These roasted notes of the tieguanyin also were a good match, and the fact that they are long lasting in the mouth, this strong guanyun also made it a very good match with pork, and so very pleased to have done lots of matching of tea and meals, and the result is that I kept the same weight over the 2 weeks, even though I really caught up with a lot of good French food during these holidays. I didn't want to lose this opportunity to eat things that I usually cannot eat or that are very difficult to find in Taiwan. So I did not try to be on a diet. I enjoyed all this special food, but with tea, and this helped to keep my weight stable. I felt less need to drink a lot of wine. I think I probably was a better guest like this, because I never lost control of my voice or of my opinions. I remained calm. I did notice that some people, when they had a bit too much, started to talk and difficult to be stopped. But I think I remained a very patient and pleasant guest, thanks to being very reasonable in the way of drinking some wine, some tea, and never overdoing the wine. And actually, as the days went by, I even drank a bit less, and wine and more tea. Even though there is one problem in France, I realized, is that the price of wine is so low. It's really almost scary. On several occasions in the restaurants, I look at the menu, and the price of wine for a glass is a little bit less than a bottle of mineral water. I find it completely crazy that if you just want to order one drink, it's actually cheaper to order a glass of wine than to order mineral water. So this pushes a lot of people to drink wine. Excesses are never good, so it's good, I think, to have this tea alternative so that you are more careful with your wine intake. Good wine can add to the pleasure, but too much can cause headaches or digestion problems or even weight problems. So the tea did help, and for me it was I did less gong fu cha in my usual setting, but I did a lot of tea pairings with the different French meals, French cuisine, French cheeses, and many or most of them went very well. So this is very encouraging. It motivates me because it tells me that my theory works in real life with the most, the richest food, the ones that last year made me gain a lot of weight, but this year, by pairing it with wine, with tea instead of too much wine, I was able to keep my weight the same. I came back without too much of jet lag. Also, the jet lag on the way to go was easy to master, thanks to the goose on the first day. So a very good experience. I can only recommend that you also pair your meals with tea, especially if you want to make change in your diet that will be long lasting. What is important is that you find joy in changing your this diet, and by introducing the tea and great teas that match the meals that you are eating. This is a way to add pleasure, and this will become a much more sustainable diet, because it's not a diet that punishes you for being overweight. It's a diet that gives you additional pleasure, and therefore it's not a problem to continue this diet, because you like it so much and you can see the benefits it has for you on the digestion part, on being awake and clear in your mind, and on being more social, and being also finding more pleasure in these pairings and combinations. So lots of wins and very little loss. So thanks to tea, it went very well this Christmas in France. I hope that it will also give you some ideas and inspiration, and I will see you again next week for another tea class. Give me some thumbs up if you like this class, or give me a comment if you don't agree. But thanks for all the people who have subscribed to this channel recently. We are over 1,000. Thanks again, and see you next week.